All right, today you guys are going to be working on how to upload an Autodesk file into Canvas so that we can get back to it the next day. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get over to the computer is I'm going to turn the computer on, and then I am going to open up Canvas. I suggest you use Google Chrome because this browser is already set where it has Canvas as your home screen, and you'll be able to use your lunch code and your password to log in. Once you get into my class, go ahead and click on today's assignment. So we're going to do Lab 8, save and upload to Canvas. So I have it here so that when I'm ready, I will be able to go back in. We don't want to resize the browsers, so if when you open your browser it's smaller, go ahead and hit the square to make it full screen. To make it drop down to the bottom of the screen, I'm going to hit the minus sign, but it's still there. If I hover my mouse over, I can still see what I need to get into. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to open up Autodesk Inventor. Okay, this is kind of the yellowish colored one that has the eye in the center. I'm going to double click. I want to see that spinning wheel showing it's opening. You don't want to be impatient with this app. If you click on it 3 or 4 times, you're going to get tons of copies of this lab opened, and it will not respond well, and it'll end up shutting down. It does take quite a bit of time for this app to open, so you want to just be patient and let it open. Should it not open, or you not see that spinning wheel, you can right-click and hit open instead to open the app. But notice my double click from the first one is loading. If you see anything that comes up at the beginning, you can hit I agree. If it ever asks you at any point to update Autodesk, don't worry about that. Autodesk has lots of different updates that it'll do during the year, and we let our tech department take care of that. So as I'm working, I can see the progress bar along the bottom, and I just have to wait for it to load. Again, possible pop-ups could come as the tech department does these different updates. Just let them load so we can see what is on there. I can just hit OK to close that. All right, now we're officially at our home screen where we can start a project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the left where I see the gray kind of column, and I'm going to click on the arrow beside new, and I'm going to click Part. Okay, and again, watch this bottom left-hand corner where it says it's loading. This is a full professional version of Autodesk, so there are a lot of features, and it takes quite a bit of time to open up the program. So just be patient. It will open with just one time of going through those commands. And see already it's starting to shift into my drawing screen. So the blue-gray area is your drawing screen. The first thing I want to know is this white model column. I don't want to close that. You want to get used to leaving that open. That will be your roadmap to every single feature in your drawing. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to this top left corner, and I can see where it says Start a 2D Sketch. That's exactly what I want, but I don't need to click on that bottom part of the button. I'm just going to use the top section of the button, because if I click on the bottom, it'll change me to something else, and I don't want that. So I'm going to click on the top part of the button, and I'm going to see these 3 planes open up. When the planes open up for today, it doesn't matter which one you click on. You'll be using the left button on the mouse with your index finger to click 1 time. Once and let go, and you'll see the drawing screen open. Since today is about learning how to put an item in Canvas, we don't need to be fancy with what we make. We're going to make one simple shape, and we're going to extrude it, which means give it a 3rd dimension. So either pick the circle or the rectangle. Okay? Don't pick the arrows below. We don't need to get complicated today. So I could click the top of the button. I'm going to click the circle. I'm going to click on my screen once, and I'm not holding that. So I clicked 1 time with the left button on the mouse and my index finger. And then I'm going to click a 2nd time, and that will place that on the screen. I don't want to click again. If I do, I'm going to start drawing a new shape, and I don't want that. Okay? If you start to draw a new shape like this, there are 2 ways sometimes or more to get rid of it. If I accidentally clicked and drew a new shape, I can still go ahead and get rid of that. But what I have to do is I have to turn my drawing tool off. I'm going to click on the right button of the mouse with my middle finger and click OK. Then I can click the shape and I can hit delete on my keyboard. Once I hit delete, then that other one is gone. Okay, if I still had my drawing tool on and I had drawn one, I could also right click and just hit OK to turn the drawing tool off. The third way to turn your drawing tool off, so if I had it on and I saw that shape, I could just simply bring my mouse up to click Finish Sketch, and that will stop me drawing. Okay, so now I have a circle on the screen, and I need to just extrude that. So I'm gonna hit Extrude. 1 inch is what it usually opens up, and that is fine. Just leave it at 1 inch. I'm gonna hit OK. I wanna bring this back into focus. So I'm gonna hover my mouse over this top toggling corner. If I move on this, that's how I can rotate what I've drawn. And every time you hit this little tiny home, it brings us back into focus. That home is the zoom home. This home in the bottom left corner is where I could start over again. So I could go back to where I saw new, and I could start a new part. Okay, but look, my shape is still down there. I can still find what I was working on. So now what I'm gonna go do is I'm gonna hit File in orange, hit Save As, and what I wanna do is I wanna make sure that I have the file name as the name of the lab and my name. Okay, so I could put Abby, and I could type lab 8. I could just put L8. You decide, it is up to you, but that would give my name and the lab. I wanna save this to desktop though. It makes it easier to get to. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Once I've done that, at the top middle of the screen, you can see that it's called lab 8. I can also see that it's called lab 8 on the bottom. Then I'm gonna go into Canvas, and I can just toggle back over. I'm gonna hit the gold Start Assignment button. Then it's gonna bring me down to the bottom. I'm gonna hit Upload File, Choose File, and I'm gonna go over here and I need to go to my desktop. When I go to my desktop, I'm gonna find Abby Lab 8 and hit Open. Once I see what it's going to attach, I can hit Submit Assignment, and you have to wait until you see the confetti. If you don't see the confetti, then it did not submit your item. This top right-hand corner also gives me confirmation that the object was for sure submitted, okay? Then you are done, and you can free work in Canvas after this is done. But I want one more part of practice. So let's pretend that you needed to come back in the next day and get your item. Okay, so I would go back into the lab where I saved it, lab 8. I could hit download. Okay, as soon as I hit download, I'm gonna see this little arrow in the top. Okay, some of the versions, it'll put a little box in the bottom left corner and you could click on that. But others, it'll have an arrow, and then I could click on the Abby Lab 8. And that would open my object back up for me to get to the very next day.